Now, in HTML, there are also things called attributes. And attributes are used to provide additional information about a certain element. The attributes are also always specified in the start tag. So for example, we have our tag right here, right? Start tag, end tag, and here is an attribute. And actually, an attribute is what a lot of us are used to using to identify elements. Probably if you're coming from a QTP background, unknowingly, because they have that sweet object spy, we have been using attributes a lot of the time to identify our elements. For example, ID, and then its value. And then obviously we have the content inside of here. So this right here is an attribute, and there are many different types of attributes. Let's go back to our page to take a look. So look at this. Right here, this button has an ID. Its attribute is ID, and then here's the attribute's value, ID example, enclosed in double quotes. Here's actually another attribute that it has. It's a type of submit, and it has even a third attribute called value, and then that value also has a string. We can look at another element. Look, this one is going to have a class. So instead of an ID, its attribute is a class, and then there's the class value. We can take a look at another button. This one has a name property. Check it out. The other ones didn't have a name. This one has a name. And then it also has a type and a value, just like all the other buttons. What if we take a look at this link? Look at it. The link, it has a tag of A, right? And then you guys will see over here, this is the closing tag. And then it has a href property, which tells us that it's a link. And then it has this value, which when we click on it, it's obviously going to take us to location, which was link success, which was exactly what was specified in the HTML. You guys see that? And then of course it has the text that fits into this tag. Again, take a look at some of these examples here. So we have our tag, opening tag, our closing tag, and then, sorry, this is the opening tag, right? Because the attribute always goes into the opening tag, and then there's also the closing tag, which I didn't put in here. But then we have the attribute and this value. So for example, we can have an h1 tag, and that tag has a property value of ID, and then the ID has a value of ID value. We can have a div tag, and that has a name property, and its value is value. And we can even have an image tag, and then that has a source property, and that has a value. Now, what you guys may see here is that each of these tags and properties may have some meaning, and that's exactly correct, right? They're like keywords in a programming language, right? When you guys have been learning C# and learning all those keywords, like, for example, public, void, static, main, string, array, all of those are unique keywords, right, that have some meaning to C#. Well, in HTML, all of these things also have some meaning in HTML. So h1 is a header tag. h2 is another header tag, but it's a lower level header tag. img means that it's an image, and usually it comes with a source tag that has the location of the image. And inside of that, we can even have some text. So all of those have some meaning, which is not really too relevant for you guys because you guys are not going to be designing actual web pages. But what you just have to understand is what I described here, is that we have our tags. The tags have properties that have some values, and using the tags and values and combination of those, we can start identifying our elements.